Watford.
Joel Bowden's gone to Crode.
Hawks winning the toss to the left of screen, the Lockett end in the opening term. Leckis going to ground. This is Tuck. What a season he's been having for the Tigers. Working in close with Johnson and Newman, and now they've got a loose man out wide. And he can just about go all the way. Schultz drives to the goal square. Stafford at a stretch. Off the ground, Richo. 25 seconds. The Hawks are fuming, saying it's not a goal, but the all clear is given.
Well, I hope it went the right side of the post, Clinton. But we've got to rewind the video because Chris Newman in the back half, that's where it all started. He was the one who kicked it out wide. And let's have a look at this contentious issue. Stafford pushes out, doesn't quite take the mark. Here comes Richo. And...
Glad you asked for that, dude. It was a goal.
You'll get a better view
Go on,
here.
I wouldn't make a mistake from there.
Yeah.
He didn't.
There's a goal. I'll tell you what, I was watching Jared Roughhead follow Richo.
Their last gamer because I thought he went to ground. He ducked his head to some degree, but he got away with it.
And the ball to midfield with Simmons. Now Newman. And the delivery is perfect. And Stafford takes the mark.
Really playing great footy to take it up to the Bulldogs.
Greg Stafford turns 31 next week. His footballing future is uncertain. What's sure right now is that he's kicking the Tigers' second goal. Play him out wide to be almost a forward decoy to try and take Crawford out of the game. Here's Roughhead.
Great kick.
For Hodge. Matched up by Cog on his forecast. Now Everett down the middle. Crode at full stretch. Bowden, his opponent. Gets by him well. Delivers towards Dixon.
Oh, what play.
The player that everyone thought was just so inconsistent. Couldn't really get a kick at Hawthorn. Couldn't get a kick at Fremantle. Has come back to Hawthorn and being one of their most consistent performers.
And Dixon replies with a Hawthorn goal. Entertaining start. Kicked 27 goals this year for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think you've got to make the distinction, Quinton, about being the best player versus the bloke who's had the best year. I think a bloke like Spider Everett with a decade of at the top, he's got plenty of credits.
Oh, he's the best. He's the better player for consistency, without a doubt.
Hilton. And he's got the job on Dixon. Gasper to Taylor there in the Hawthorn forward line. Was Hartigan off? He is now. Young put the pressure on. Gasper quick hands. Hartigan backed himself. Did well. Foley though still under pressure. Oh, that's great stuff. This will be a goal and it's well deserved. You're trying to tell me they're playing for draft picks. A total of around 10 goals for the two games here and Geelong next Sunday. Then the Tigers will make it. So where there's life,
Why didn't you just say they've got no chance at all?
well, they've got a spirit.
There's a mathematical
There's
chance.
a mathematical chance.
You need a high tide and a north wind at the same time.
Roughhead towards Miller. Can he get boot the ball? He's appealing for it. I reckon umpire Buckner will say, yeah, why not? You're out. There's a goal. The Tigers can't believe it.
If he got his boot on it, it was only a lace.
It was a very long decision. It was like Steve Buckner at the cricket pondering the LBW appeal. Let's have another look.
Good kick in, though. It was a good kick to the pressure spot. Rotten bounce for the ball. And... We need to slow mo.
Yeah, we might have to slow that down again, to be honest.
Well, we got a snickometer at box 20. He touched it.
That's a bad decision.
Bad decision.
But you know what? It's the appeal. The appeal got him there.
Yep.
And that was Jared Roughhead that kicked the ball in. He's running Matthew.
Now Gasper got free because his opponent Taylor went to pick up Schultz. So now with the overlap, the Tigers can run. Graham feeding Hilton. Two bounces. Low ball to Richardson. Great stuff. Great transfer from Richmond. At 10 inside 50s to just 5, yet they trail by a goal. Richardson has 60 for the year now. From 50, it's a thumping kick. Oh, what a goal that is.
It was a beautiful kick by Matty
Roll
Richardson.
Westerly that's outside.
Delidio up onto the wing now.
3 times second in the best and fairest. Richo at punt right. I mentioned earlier he's never won the award. 4th last year. He'd be in the frame for a top 4 finish this year. There's a free kick. Advantage play on Joel Smith. On the lead, and it's a beauty from Dixon.
It's been a good decision, I think. I reckon they're a good stock, the Hawks. I reckon they're in another 50-odd games. They're going to be right back up the top of the ladder.
Remember, these two clubs played for the Wooden Spoon last year. Hawthorn winning the game round 21 by just on 4 goals as Dixon kicks his second goal today. He's won another senior game for the year. Going wide into the back pocket. This is Roughhead. Now Rees getting a bit of the footy here. The skipper, Vandenberg. Hay. Back for the running Vandenberg. Good weighted kick. Dixon. It's going to go over the head there. Now Miller in tambling. Look how quick Miller is. Oh, Harry, that's great stuff. He's got his second goal and the Hawks 2 goals clear.
He's an exciting player. That's one he's got. He definitely kicked that one. We saw him get lucky a little earlier ago. And Richard Tambling, well, he'll learn that you just have to go at the footy a little bit harder than that. Because basically Harry Miller just ran straight past him.
He did. He had the sniff of the big goals in front of him. This is good work by the skipper. And a very dangerous kick in by Ben Dixon. Over the top, which is just bread and butter for a bloke like Harry.
And he's excited with good reason. Another one of those, Harry Miller. Kicking his second goal. Simmons palming it down. Hodge. Everett. Smith.
They've got a lot of momentum, the Hawks.
Dixon.
He's taken a chest mark and probably slid a good couple of metres on his knees, which wouldn't normally happen.
You never see it, do you? It's a different surface.
For a 3-goal lead. And Dixon has that many. Up and about are the Hawks. Nick down. Leckis. High ball to the hot spot. Bowden eyes for the football. Can't hang on to it. Gasper for Bowden. Schultz is still down. Smith. Kick well smothered by Hilton. Smith the second go. Lewis. Everett. They might need the stretcher out there in a moment. And because they're a man down, there had to be someone free. So Leckis now to drive a fairly handy wedge between the two teams here. Early in the second quarter, the kick looks good.
Well, early in the piece, the Tigers hit the clearances, but the Hawks have actually turned it right round.
Simmons knocking it down. Hawks, here's Hodge. Look at the way he kept his feet charging through there. Vandenberg. Low to centre half forward. Franklin held off his man more well and clasped it nicely to the chest. Loney to the hot spot. Taylor the target. One grab, not the second. Miller lurking dangerously. They're hailing the cab. They've got it.
Flag fall. In fact, Taylor won't be interested in your thoughts. He looked on the footy as if he just lost his legs in that first contest going for the mark. We'll maybe get another look at it, but as a tall player, young player, he's just going to have to keep his base. Because without your base, you become top heavy and easily shifted off the footy.
Yeah, without a doubt about that, Jared. One of the first points you get taught as a key forward is when you go for your marks, you try to keep your feet at all stages, so then you can go for your second and third efforts after that particular concept.
Dixon kicks goal number 4. And that's
he was a great coaching ploy for 6 or 7 weeks. Got under the guard of most of the other clubs. Did Alison Nicholson. Thank you, umpire. But it really was easily worked out. Here go the Hawks again.
Young towards Taylor. At the back, Miller. Have a go, Harry. How exciting is Harry Miller? He's kicked 3 goals. Dixon has got 4 goals. And the Hawks lead by 6 goals.
And 2 of those goals, Jared, have been over the back of the pack. Now, normally a small crumbing forward gets to the front of the pack. Harry Miller, what he's done is he's read the ball, he's read the flight of the ball quicker than most, realising it's gone over the back. And you see here, he runs straight to the back of the pack. Normally, he would have run to the front, but he's got 2 goals by going to the back. So you would have to say that he ran to the right spot.
Things unravelling for the boys from Punt Road. 6 unanswered Hawthorn goals, and they have taken control of this match. Everett to the pocket, space to lead for Dixon, an arm held by Gasper. No advantage as Miller tries a punt to take the lead to the better part of 7 goals.
Haven't we seen some great kicks this weekend after the siren or near the siren?
Well, I haven't seen Jeff watch it because I went to bed with 5 minutes to go thinking the result was done.
Dixon kicks his 5th first half goal.
Well, before you have a look at it, I can tell you it was every bit as good as that.
Crowd. And towards half forward, Bowden knocking it down. Simmons. Out wide, Pettifer, aided by the bounce, will just drift it over the top to Lidio. Very quiet today. Marking here. Feeding the handball off. And it's a chance for Tuck. Close. Good enough. Badly needed goal for the Tigers.
He ran straight into Richo after he missed that goal.
Did he?
Give him a little spray.
Do that at your own peril. 32 points the margin as Osborne takes off. Finds Joel Smith. Now can chip it very wide here or go deep. He goes deep. And it's coming downfield for Everett.
Back of the head there.
Hang on.
Right.
Everett, I think, will take the free.
Doesn't matter. You got your arm up. It's not a strike, but it's high. Okay, he's clearly kicked it.
Everett to take it. Tight angle, 8 minutes from half time.
He's usually pretty good at those, Spider. Probably step around on the left foot. Like so.
Good call. Spider gets his first. Hit-outs today running Richmond's way 15-9, but as you say, Hawthorn are winning the clearances. The tap not as vital as it once was. Hall, Crawford, Dawson. Nearly a throw, Campbell. Thurgood in the way, wrapped up, good tackle, a bounce.
Let him go, I'll play on the man.
It was an amazing comeback game by Matthew Clark, Jared.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether you saw it, but his tap work was exceptional. And when you win the ball so easily like that, it does give you on ballers first chance.
So you'd be happy that Matthew Clark is there for the journey?
I think he's a likely replacement, but in saying that, Ben Hudson was in the top 20 in the AFL for clearances, and he's a ruckman.
Ray Hall has not kicked a goal this year. Until now. Good finish that he was going to play on, but similar to a few minutes ago, no play on called. Everett. Crawford.
Yeah, that's a great run from Crawford. He's off the half back. He would have run 100 to get to there.
Good kick by Franklin to Weckes. Goal from him.
Well,
as the year goes on, it gets forgotten about.
Well, I've seen a lot of flooding in this year, a lot early and a lot late. That's a great goal.
Weckes with his second, and it restores Hawthorn's lead to 37 points. I think part of the art now is being able to track the ball in under your opponent and keep it there subtly. Lewis elects to go wide and effectively for Roughhead, who's making Richo chase. To the wing, off hands, Gasper, here's Delidio. Back from whence it came. Stafford had his name all over it.
And another good decision by Brett Delidio, not having a great game through the midfield. We'll need to have a bigger second half if the Tigers are to get back into the game, but had the know-how to look up the ground and see Stafford, who was by himself for quite some time, and the big fella good enough to take a good catch under a little bit of pressure. Good mark.
Zach Dawson on the mark. So we'll follow him with interest if Greg Stafford misses this.
Okay.
We'll follow him with interest if he hits it.
Kick on its way. Looks good. Yeah, young man didn't say much.
Like all self-respecting footballers.
He's doing right and wrong.
So for the final 90 seconds of the half, Hay goes to Richardson and Dawson is with Stafford. As the Tigers get the clearance, can they take some momentum to the change rooms? Tambling's got a man running forward. He puts it in his direction, and Pettifer is a goal kicker, and they could well get two in a minute.
Plenty of time to peruse the events. Take us through this goal and tell us what you think the Tigers have to do to get back into it.
Well, let's see how he goes. Well, that's what he's got to do to start with, but more important, Gerard, is the centre clearances. If he can get first use out of that centre square, Richard Tambling doing the right thing.
Now, digital coverage.
The beauty of that is if you don't like the scuffles, you can
Watch the footy. Footy or fighting. We've got them both. Only
Oh, good hands.
on Fox Footy as the Hawks break clear. 20 seconds to go, and they've got a chance. Vandenberg towards half forward. Osborne's got a man streaking clear. Goes to Clark. And he might have a shot at goal after the siren.
Well, good politics there by Aussie. Ball was right in the middle of him and Luke Hodge, and he said, I'll take it. That's what you've got to do sometimes. If you just sit back and wait for someone else, there it is. You sit back and wait, you can both muck it up. And he did the right thing and pinpointed a great pass.
And the good thing about Clark, he was one of the ones involved in that scuffle on centre wing. He was involved in that, but able to run down and get this ball uncontested. There is a criticism of him. It is his kicking.
Back him in on this.
He's 11 goals 6 this year. He's 12 goals 6, and the Hawks get a big one after the halftime siren. And the Hawk players all converge in a hurry. Potency there for things to spill over. There was a little nudge from one of the Tigers on the way through, but there's some good vibes, good body language about this Hawthorn team, and at half-time they enjoy a 31-point lead.
Saying that, Richo's put it on the full, so it didn't matter too much.
It's going to be a great battle for the Hawthorn best and fairest. They've had half a dozen really consistent players. Also Sam Mitchell, unfortunately, until he got injured, was really consistent.
And Mark Williams with 63 goals.
Crode, Everett.
Yep. Hodge. There's some numbers. There's a loose man inside the 50, and it's Ray Hall who kicked a goal in time on of the second game, and the Tigers would have had 3 of the last 4 goals, bracketing half-time. Originally out of Woy Woy. Hall's kick is good.
Possessions, and he's had his usual many.
And that's not one of his strengths. He's been a great player, very, very good player, as he usually is. But if there's a criticism of him at centre-half back,
and the ball's moved quickly to Campbell and now Pettifer.
If there is a criticism of Joel Bowden,
and the Tigers will have some momentum about them, and they'd have the margin back to 3 straight kicks. An important shot this. Kick 28 for the year, now 29. Tigers coming back.
And certainly not out of it, Richmond. All been stung a little bit by Terry Wallace because he's a different outfit.
2 goals, 3-0 in this third term as the Hawks break. Now, Rees has got Smith in a stack of space. He gives it to him now. Good build-up. Into the pocket, Young. Did he have his arms chopped? Yes.
Get his arm out.
another look.
Oh. That's the rule.
Well, that's not the rule because there was no arm pull then. There was contact with his arm.
Yeah, but that's the chop. You don't pull it.
No. But if you look at that, his arm basically stays upright. He didn't chop it. He hit the arm. He didn't pull it down and/or chop it. I think he's a little bit unlucky to give that one away.
We'll have another look as Clinton Young ponders this kick for the third goal of his career. Tight angle.
That is fluent.
That is great stuff. Steadying goal for the Hawks. Takes the margin back to 22 points.
He's a little like that one, Slaughter. He's just not.
He's got to get a park. Hodge. Needs the little hand pass back. Brennan Just gets away. Dawson. That might have been the steadier they really needed. Smith. Confidence building, goes deep. Everett. 1, 2.
I'd love to know when Spider knew he had that mark. Was it when he got his first hand on it? Was it now? Because as soon as he poked it straight up, he knew it was his.
Yeah, without a doubt.
This for 2 in a minute. Spider gets his second and the lead is 28 points. Midway in the third quarter.
Bounce.
Simmons the palm down. Foley traps it. Dangerous. Got to get it out. Did. Kane Johnson. Hardigan quick hands, but Hodge was awaiting. Long and direct gives the ballers a chance. Croak is being held.
You're blocking him anyway.
Joel bounces this is the things.
Not unless he's got a skincare product.
He fires from 50 and goes.
Not his weakness. And Shane Crawford once again, he's going to be tough to stop off that half-back line over the next year or two. No, not sure how long he's going to play for, but he's got surely a few more years off the half-back line.
30 years of age right now as Lekis delivers to Franklin, and he's off. Keep going, buddy. The freakish goal! Generation Next on display for Hawthorn right there. Oh, Buddy will be talking about that all summer.
He will, and it was only 30 seconds before he tried to do the same thing on centre wing. As soon as he got that ball, he was off. He had the confidence to run. Had another Hawthorn player coming in there to shepherd, but really didn't worry about that. He had the full confidence. What was one of the good things about that particular bit of play?
Lewis kicked hurriedly. Jackson patrolling things in the back half. Now Thurgood in front of Hall. Good contest. And 2 country kicks. Thurgood lost it.
Got him.
Johnson. Now Hall. Richo. 68. Gives the roof a nudge.
Spider.
Oh, Simmons. Good stretch.
Well, he's been stiff. He's had 3 goes at it in the 4:20 over the last 10 minutes, and this one finally stuck.
It was a good stretch. It was a wobbly punt by Richo. Not sure what he was going for. I think it torp. But one of those balls that really is very hard to judge. You can see how hard Spider effort being that far off. Not his fault, just purely the flight of the ball. Big Simmons at the back of the pack was a fantastic stretch.
Needs to convert. 2 behinds his return today. But directly in front, 30 metres out. It should be a goal for Richmond. They need a steadier, and Simmons provides it. Goals in a hurry. Crowded area. Tambling. Johnson. Campbell, he's always creative. Oh, look at that.
This will be his 10th possession for the quarter, Lydia.
And then come out and have a quarter like this. Says a lot about maybe the NAB rising star of 2005.
Keep the pressure on him, Wayne. Delidio's kick at goal is perfect. 2 in a row for the Tigers. Is he your pick, Wayne?
Got another one for Carlton that has really stood up over the last 6 or so weeks.
And the presentation of the NAB Rising Star coming soon, live and exclusive to Fox Footy. As the Tigers break clear, Simmons getting the hand pass out. Paul shrugs aside Dawson. This for 3 in a row. Here they come. Ray Hall's kicked 3 goals today. Black and yellow delirium around the Telstra Dome. Suddenly it's game on again.
Well, it's come in fits and starts. The Tigers, can they continue the momentum? They need to just get 2 or 3 more goals closer before I think the whole team, there'll be doubters in this team. They get another 2 goals here, all of a sudden everybody thinks that they can win and the run just multiplies.
And it's
About to be besieged.
Played Osborne.
Did very well to Hodge. The bounce important here. Miller trapped it well. Everett. Loney. Gone. Ray Hall having a big half. Pettifer goes deep.
Yeah, good body work, got away with it. Little nudge forward for Richo.
Oh, Roughhead kept it in. Stafford swings it around the body. Oh, has it been marked? Hilton's kicked a remarkable goal. How on earth did that happen? Stafford can't believe it. The Tigers have kicked 4 goals in 7 glorious minutes. And we've got a 3-goal game.
And as we watch this ball come into the forward line, going to replay of it in a minute. Richo wasn't the best option here. It was 2-on-1, but it was Roughhead that decided to keep the ball in. Didn't want to get pinged. Stafford. He thought that might have been the goal. Probably just a little bit of sloppy guarding the mark by the Hawthorn.
So this group isn't good enough to take us all the way. We need to maybe just cull, go young again.
At the end of last year, they released 1,019 games of experience. Richardson.
It's against Jack Wilson.
Wins a free.
For the Shepherd.
Well, this is a very big kick.
And that's one free kick. Talk about chopping of the arms and that type of thing coming into the forward line. That is one of the free. Not so sure about that. Did he have eyes? He had eyes just for Matthew Richardson, not the ball. That's why it's a free kick. That could be paid a little bit more, that one.
Richardson kicks his 3rd goal. 2 goals, the difference. And support for the Tiger provided by Newman. That's a clever kick. Ray Hall, though, on an awkward bounce. The first game at Dawson is slipping himself into a good position. And Miller goes to Franklin. Crawford is running. Franklin turns him down, centres the ball. Lewis a chance. Tucked in well. Delidio's caught. Bowden hacks it clear. Crawford's in the way. Miller for number 4. What a start! Overrun by Bowden and Crow. Good quick hand pass there by Pettifer to Bowden. Sizing up the options. Richardson the target. Strong hands, but he's too far out to score. Tambling on the break. Richardson in his direction. One, he's got it.
Definitely the wrong option, but somehow he got it.
And he gets it. And the margin's back to 2 goals. Hawthorn in the lead. Now Hay, and the Hawks can clear Crawford.
It's all of a sudden a very quick game again.
It is, and Ray Hall is absolutely on his feet. He's got to hang in there because Spider is doing the running.
Hay delivers well.
Ray Hall's got to get off the ground. He's gone. He's gone.
Lewis long. Graham the spoil. Crow to chance. Tight angle. Makes it a great goal. His second, and it was a beauty.
And it doesn't matter if you're having a bad day or not. If you kick those goals in the last quarter, and it's been a little bit scrappy, you must say, around the half-forward line of Hawthorn. It's been the Richmond pressure, but the class of Trent Crow really come to the fore there.
That was a great goal, wasn't it?
Knew to go underneath. Yep. Couldn't go with any height, or the ball would have been
tag.
Was Tambling pushed? No. Everett to Miller. Leckus running with him. Hardigan, the pursuit. Newman working. Miller, relentless. Now Young, another of the first-year Hawks, to another.
It was a beautiful kick coming into the forward line. It was to the open side of the ground.
His second goal. A pressure kick.
What to like about him in the future.
Simmons for Bowden for Coghlan. Hawks in front. Tambling affects the spoil. Campbell. Here's a breakaway. Hardigan on the run. Tambling, question of accuracy. There's your result. 2 final quarter goals for the 18-year-old. They're running out of chances, the Tigers. Heaps of time to go, but they're not kicking straight down there. Hodge just put his body on the line against a couple of Tigers, and he wins out. Taylor to Loney. Loose men at half forward. Pride will take it. Can run on. Will he go for it? Chooses to pass off. And it's strong hands. The mark has been taken. Should be a goal for Rees. Hawks are 21 points clear. Tough for the Tigers now. Half forward. Bowden's been good. Handball let him down. He follows it up. Tambling. Clever. Graham. Quick hands. Here's a chance. Free to Richmond. Advantage play on. Long ball to the full forward.
Great kick, Simmons.
Play on.
You've got to play the ball, not the whistle.
Oh, Richo recovers it. Oh, but missed Simmons with the hand pass. Schultz charging through. Oh, and he misses Simmons as well. He'll get another go, though. And he'll kick this one. Well, process of elimination.
Just got to keep on keeping on because the game is opening up for them.
14 points. That's a bad bounce, so Tuck. Volleyball spikes it to half forward. Hall feeds it off. Tuck thinks about the handball. Into space. Schultz. Johnson. 2 in a row. Wake up, Jared. This is what happened last night.
I missed that one.
Oh, brother. It's 8 points the difference.
Well, they've got to get the ball out of the centre because their back line is absolutely out on its feet, the Hawks. And they've got to get this out of the centre to give them some relief.
And that was a great handball off the deck. The push, but there was 2 movements, and that's what they're paying free kicks for. Oh, it's a good lesson to Richo.
Here they go.
Don't overcook it.
Newman to the midfield. Hardigan with 3 minutes to go. 7 points down. On the lead, marking. He plays on Stafford. Richo! Richo!
Great hands from Stafford.
He's got 4. Tigers have now kicked 3 in time on of the last quarter to claw their way to within a point.
Oh, young Dawson. Didn't see him anywhere near Richo then.
She's great movement of the footy. Their movement skills have just gone through the roof in this last quarter, the Tigers. Well, since half time at least. And that was just a smart handball there from Greg Stafford to Richo. He aimed at the right goalpost, which is the way to go when you're kicking right foot because it always comes back.
And it's young Dawson putting the pressure on. And there was no comment after that. One went through the big sticks.
Richmond last year beat Hawthorn by a point here. They trail by a point now as Johnson's buried. 2:45 to go. We'll get another bounce.
No chance that's in the back. Just rolling.
So much to play for. 30,906. Like Terry Wallace on the edge of their seats. Lewis is tied up.
Terry Wallace has got Wayne Campbell on the bench. I'd have him on the ground this last 2 minutes.
No question.
Johnson, Delidio, Tigers to get the breakaway. Oh, the kick is smothered. Vandenberg, caught by Johnson. Wonderful tackling. 2 Hawks in there. Play on. Vandenberg rugby-like trying to pull it through will get a bounce.
Neither Alistair Clarkson would be the one that would put the flood on here if he wanted to. He hasn't decided to do that.
They've got a pretty tall forward line there, the Tigers.
Vandenberg mown down. Johnson likewise. It's hot.
Johnson.
Play on handball.
Everett, can he break clear? Hodge. Who will win out? Great stuff. Graham in his final kick perhaps. Leckus on the wing. Hartigan pursuing him. Over the top. Vandenberg. Osborne has been great. Back for Ritchie. Minute 25 to go. Bowden and Clark.
Good pass.
Bowden spoils. Will it go out? Loney on the boundary line. To the goal square.
That's what they needed, the Tigers.
Good result for the Tigers.
It would take a draw out of the equation now. Oh, how's your heart, sir? Graham away, now breaking to space, Ray Hall. He spent a lot of petrol tickets early. He does well here. Look out though. Hyde, neat sidestep. Delidio goes deep.
Stafford.
Schultz! Stafford! Tigers in front! What a story unfolding as Pettifer goals to keep the faint hope alive.
And it was Brett Delidio with the courage and the conviction to take on the Hawthorn players through the middle of the ground and have the nous to go forward to his taller players. Contest from Schultz up to Stafford. Stafford with the quick hands. Pettifer.
With about a centimetre to spare.
Brett Delidio. That nab might be just about sealed with his second half, Jared.
Razor Hall, he did not have one more metre left in those legs.
Tigers in front for the first time since 7 minutes in the opening term. Hodge, though, says we're not done with. 35 seconds.
Oh, he's fumbled.
Oh, Leckus, no. Caught by Hartigan. Franklin. Tied up by Graham. Now the umpire's called for a bounce, so the clock will run a few seconds. Even if it was a boundary throw in, the clock would have stopped.
Hodge had the big left foot.
Hawk. Franklin caught. Holding the ball.
Let it go. Let it go.
And the Tigers are going to end a 5-game losing run. And farewell Mark Graham with a stunning come from behind win. What a way to bow out. I guess that's why we play the games.
No question.